Beloved, there is a strength in solitude that few comprehend, a fierce resolve born not of bitterness but of quiet endurance. A woman who walks alone does not merely wander in the wilderness of rejection or loneliness, but often journeys into a depth of strength unknown to the common eye. To the onlooker, her absence of companions may be misunderstood as weakness, but her silence is her power, her seclusion her preparation. Beware of the woman who does not need the crowd, for she has learned to lean on no one but God. She walks a path trodden only by the bold, for in isolation she has uncovered divine wisdom and unmatched strength. A self-reliant and independent woman is one who has learned the art of standing firm on her own, not out of pride or arrogance, but from an inner strength forged through trials. She does not depend on others for validation, strength, or direction, because she has discovered that true confidence comes from knowing who she is and whose she is. Her solitude has become her teacher, and her reliance on God has become her anchor. While many look to others for approval, she has chosen to seek her identity from a higher source, one that does not falter or change with the winds of opinion. Her independence is not loneliness, it is liberation. This woman does not bend to the voices around her because she has learned to listen to the still, small voice of wisdom. The world often pressures us to conform, to seek applause, and to measure our worth by the recognition of others. Yet she knows that true validation cannot be given by fickle, fallible humanity. She does not need another to remind her of her worth. Her value is engraved in her soul by her Creator. When others clamor for praise, she is steady in the quiet assurance of her purpose. She does not waver because she is not easily moved by flattery or criticism. She does not seek strength in numbers because her strength comes from within. It is not that she does not value companionship or love, rather, she does not need it to define her. Her worth is not diminished by walking alone, nor does she feel incomplete without the presence of others. Instead, she carries herself with a quiet confidence, assured that she is enough as she is. Her reliance on herself and God allows her to move forward with determination and poise, unshaken by the absence of a crowd. Direction for her life does not come from those around her. The world shouts many voices, offering counsel that is often contradictory or misleading, but she has chosen to listen to the voice of truth. She is not swayed by trends, nor does she allow others to dictate her journey. Her independence allows her to make choices with clarity, unhindered by peer pressure or fear of disapproval. She has learned to discern the path God has laid before her, and she follows it with unwavering resolve, trusting Him alone for guidance. This independence sets her apart in a world that thrives on validation. Many look to others for reassurance before taking a step forward, but she moves with a freedom that is foreign to those bound by the chains of approval. Her ability to act boldly without seeking affirmation makes her a powerful force. She does not hesitate, nor does she question her worth based on others' perceptions. Her decisions are rooted in faith and conviction, making her unshakable in a way that others often envy or misunderstand. Her independence empowers her to lift others without losing herself. While some who depend on validation may become drained or insecure when they do not receive praise, she can pour into others without expecting anything in return. Her confidence and strength allow her to encourage, uplift, and guide those around her because her well does not run dry. She is a steady presence in the lives of others, offering wisdom and love from a place of abundance rather than need. Her independence is not selfish, it is a gift to those she encounters. The world often misunderstands a self-reliant and independent woman. She may be labeled as distant, proud, or unapproachable, yet such judgments fail to see the depth of her character. Her independence is not a wall to keep others out, it is a strength that allows her to welcome others without fear of losing herself. Her love is pure because it does not come from a place of neediness. Her actions are sincere because she is free from the pressure to perform for approval. She knows that her value is secure, and so she lives authentically. Ultimately, a self-reliant and independent woman is a testament to God's sustaining power. Her independence is not born from rebellion but from trust. She knows that people may fail her, but God never will. She walks boldly and confidently, not because she trusts in her own ability, but because she trusts in the one who holds her future. She has learned the beauty of leaning on him alone, and through that trust she has discovered a strength and independence that cannot be shaken. She is not dangerous because of her solitude. She is dangerous because of the quiet, unstoppable strength that solitude has produced within her. A woman who is focused and determined is a force to be reckoned with. Her solitude becomes the furnace in which her vision is purified, her goals clarified, and her resolve strengthened. When others might be distracted by the noise of life, she embraces the quiet, where distractions are removed and her mind is sharpened like an arrow pointed toward its target. She is not swayed by trivial pursuits or the fleeting pleasures of the crowd. Instead, she sets her eyes on the path before her, walking with purpose and intention toward the goals she has set in her heart. This focus comes not from arrogance, but from understanding the value of time and energy. She knows that life is but a vapor, and every moment must be used wisely. Solitude gives her the space to evaluate where her attention belongs and what truly matters. Others may scatter their efforts in too many directions, chasing after whatever seems appealing, but she narrows her focus to that which aligns with her purpose. This focus becomes the secret of her strength, for a divided mind cannot stand, but a mind set on one vision becomes unstoppable. Her solitude is not a sign of isolation, but of preparation. Many mistake her time alone as loneliness, but they fail to see the work being done in the quiet. A focused and determined woman uses her solitude to plan, to refine, and to strengthen herself. While others are speaking idly, she is working diligently. While others are wasting time on distractions, she is making progress. She knows that the time spent alone, far from the influence of others, is the very thing that equips her for the work ahead. In her determination, she is undeterred by setbacks or failures. She understands that obstacles are not signals to quit, but lessons to be learned. A woman of focus does not crumble when faced with difficulties. Instead, her solitude has trained her to endure, to adapt, and to press on. She does not waste energy on complaining or blaming others, but directs all her strength toward finding solutions and moving forward. Her focus keeps her grounded, and her determination drives her to keep walking, even when the path is steep and the way unclear. The world often admires those who succeed, but rarely understands the sacrifice it takes to get there. A focused woman has made peace with the sacrifices her determination requires. She may miss out on the approval of others or the distractions of comfort, but she considers it a small price to pay for the fulfillment of her purpose. She is willing to say no to lesser things so she can say yes to what truly matters. Her solitude is a sanctuary where she can hear the call of her purpose more clearly than the voices of doubt or distraction. A woman with focus is not easily discouraged by the opinions of others. She knows that not everyone will understand her determination, nor does she expect them to. People may question her path or criticize her decisions, but she remains undeterred because her confidence is not rooted in their approval. Her solitude has given her the ability to filter out unnecessary noise, allowing her to hold fast to her convictions and press forward with courage. She trusts that her steps are guided, and she refuses to be swayed by the skepticism of others. Her focus and determination inspire others, though she does not seek recognition. Her quiet diligence becomes a testimony of what is possible when one commits fully to their purpose. People begin to take notice of the fruits of her labor, marveling at the steady progress she makes. What they do not always see is the discipline behind her success, the hours spent in solitude, the decisions made in private, and the battles fought in the quiet. Her focus is not for show, it is a deep and unshakable part of who she is. She approaches her goals with patience, knowing that true success is not achieved overnight. In her solitude she has learned to wait, to prepare, and to trust in the timing of her journey. A focused woman does not demand instant results, for her determination is steady and enduring. She knows that slow progress is still progress, and she trusts that every step, no matter how small, brings her closer to her goal. Her determination makes her resilient in seasons of waiting, for she has learned that good things come to those who persist. Her solitude also sharpens her mind, making her a woman of strategy and wisdom. She does not act impulsively or recklessly, but carefully considers each step she takes. Her focus allows her to anticipate challenges and plan accordingly. While others rush ahead without preparation, she moves with deliberate intention, ensuring that her actions align with her goals. Her solitude has taught her to think deeply, pray earnestly, and act boldly. She is not aimless in her pursuit, but guided by wisdom and clarity. Ultimately, her focus and determination are the result of her inner strength and faith. She does not rely solely on her own abilities, but trusts in the one who has given her the vision in the first place. Her solitude is not empty, it is filled with purpose, with prayer, and with preparation. She knows that the strength to achieve her goals comes from above, and so she moves forward with humility and confidence. A woman with focus and determination is indeed dangerous, not because of her isolation, but because of the unstoppable strength and clarity her solitude has produced. A woman who is emotionally guarded is like a fortress, strong, impenetrable, and not easily swayed by external forces. This guarded nature does not come from weakness, but from an understanding of the importance of her emotions, her heart, and her intentions. She reveals little, carefully choosing what to share and with whom. Her restraint becomes her strength, as it shields her from those who would misuse her vulnerability or twist her words for their gain. Such a woman has learned, often through experience, that not everyone is worthy of access to her innermost thoughts and feelings. This emotional guard is not a wall of bitterness, but a gate of wisdom. She does not shut people out completely, but she opens herself only to those who have earned her trust. Like a gatekeeper, she discerns who may enter and who must remain outside. This discernment protects her from unnecessary pain, betrayal, or disappointment. While the world may encourage openness for the sake of connection, she understands that overexposure can weaken the spirit and invite harm. To guard one's emotions is to honor one's heart, for it is the wellspring of life. Her guarded nature makes her intentions difficult to discern, which gives her an air of mystery and quiet strength. Others may wonder what she is thinking or planning, but she does not feel the need to explain herself. She refuses to be an open book, for she knows that too much transparency can leave her vulnerable to manipulation. This ability to hold her emotions close makes her unpredictable to those who might seek to take advantage of her. She is not cold or unfeeling, she is wise, refusing to lay her heart bare before those who do not value it. This emotional restraint allows her to navigate relationships and challenges with clarity and self-control. Where others may react impulsively, she responds thoughtfully. Because her emotions are guarded, she is not easily provoked or manipulated by others' words or actions. Her calm demeanor in the face of conflict or pressure becomes a source of power. Those who expect her to be swayed by emotion quickly learn that her resolve is stronger than they imagined. She has mastered the art of holding her peace, a skill that many overlook but few truly possess. Being emotionally guarded does not mean she lacks depth or love. On the contrary, her love runs deeper than most because it is not given recklessly. She invests her emotions where they are valued, where trust is mutual, and where relationships are rooted in respect. When she does reveal her heart, it is a sacred gift, not a careless offering. She understands that emotions are precious, and sharing them should never be taken lightly. To those she loves, she offers loyalty, warmth, and sincerity, but only after they have proven themselves worthy of her trust. Many misunderstand an emotionally guarded woman, labeling her as distant, cold, or unfeeling. Yet such judgments fail to see the strength and wisdom behind her restraint. She is not detached from life, she is simply selective about where she places her energy. Her guarded nature is not a weakness, but a defense forged by experience. It reflects the lessons she has learned about trust, betrayal, and the cost of emotional vulnerability. She guards her heart because she knows its worth, and she refuses to allow it to be mishandled. Her emotional restraint also frees her to focus on her goals and purpose without distraction. She is not weighed down by the opinions or expectations of others. for she does not allow her emotions to be swayed by external influences. While others may become entangled in emotional drama or meaningless conflicts, she remains steadfast and clear-minded. This focus allows her to pursue her vision with unwavering determination, unhindered by the noise of the world. Her guarded nature gives her the strength to stay true to herself and her calling. At times, solitude becomes her refuge, where she can process her emotions privately and without interference. She understands the importance of introspection and allows herself the space to think, pray, and reflect. Being emotionally guarded does not mean she suppresses her emotions. Rather, she tends to them in private, where they can be nurtured and healed without outside judgment. This time alone strengthens her, allowing her to re-emerge with clarity, renewed focus, and a deeper understanding of herself and her journey. Her emotional guard also teaches others to approach her with respect. Those who seek to know her must do so with patience, sincerity, and care. She does not allow herself to be rushed or pressured into vulnerability. This guardedness sets a standard for how she expects to be treated. It demands that others honor her boundaries and value her trust. It is a lesson to all who encounter her that relationships, whether personal or professional, must be built on mutual respect and understanding. Ultimately, her emotionally guarded nature is a reflection of her strength, wisdom, and self-worth. She has learned that to guard her emotions is to honor herself and the life she has been given. It is not a sign of weakness but of maturity and discernment. She reveals herself not to the many but to the few who have proven themselves worthy of her trust. And in this guardedness she finds peace, power, and an unshakable confidence that sets her apart from the rest. For a woman who guards her heart is a woman who knows her worth, and that is a dangerous kind of strength. A woman who is unpredictable and reserved is a puzzle to those who try to understand her. Without close friendships to act as windows into her thoughts, her next move remains unknown, leaving others unsure of her plans and intentions. This unpredictability is not born out of chaos, but from her choice to keep her life and purpose guarded. She does not seek validation or approval from others, so her decisions are not shaped by outside influences. Instead, she moves according to her convictions, leaving others to wonder what she will do next. This uncertainty surrounding her makes her an enigma, one who cannot easily be read or controlled. Her reserved nature gives her an aura of quiet strength. She does not share her every thought or intention, choosing instead to act with deliberate purpose. While many are quick to announce their plans or seek approval before they act, she prefers to move in silence. Her actions speak louder than her words, and she does not waste energy trying to explain herself to those who may misunderstand her. This silence confuses those who expect predictability, for they cannot anticipate her next step. Her restraint becomes her advantage, as it shields her plans from unnecessary interference. A reserved woman is not without purpose. On the contrary, her intentional silence hides a deeper focus. Because she keeps her thoughts and motives close to her heart, she can think and plan without distraction. She is not weighed down by the opinions of others, nor does she feel obligated to explain herself. This ability to hold her peace gives her freedom to move at her own pace and according to her own timing. Others may rush ahead seeking attention or approval, but she waits, watches, and acts when the moment is right. This unpredictability allows her to surprise those who underestimated her resolve. Her unpredictable nature unsettles those who seek to control her. People often rely on predictability to feel secure, but a woman who keeps her plans hidden cannot be easily manipulated or swayed. She does not reveal her next move to those who may wish to oppose or sabotage her. Instead, she chooses carefully what to share and with whom. Her life becomes a mystery, leaving others guessing and uncertain. This ability to keep her plans private protects her vision and allows her to work without unnecessary obstacles or distractions. Her unpredictability becomes a shield, protecting her from those who do not have her best interests at heart. A reserved woman is also discerning, for she knows that not everyone is worthy of access to her innermost thoughts. She has learned, perhaps through experience, that some friendships can bring harm rather than help. She guards her heart and her plans not out of mistrust but out of wisdom. She understands the power of keeping her life private, for what others do not know they cannot misuse. This discretion allows her to move confidently, without the burden of outside interference. Others may wonder about her silence, but she knows that her focus is best preserved by keeping her life protected. Her reserved nature often leads others to underestimate her. People mistake her silence for weakness or uncertainty, failing to see the strength beneath her calm demeanor. Yet it is this very quietness that allows her to act with precision and effectiveness. While others may boast of their plans and accomplishments, she lets her actions speak for themselves. Her unpredictability becomes her strength, for no one can anticipate her moves or diminish her resolve. She surprises others with her achievements, for her silence hides the diligence and focus that drive her success. There is power in being unpredictable, for it keeps others from gaining control. A woman who reveals little cannot be easily swayed or manipulated. Her reserved nature ensures that her decisions are her own, free from the influence of gossip, criticism, or unwanted advice. This freedom allows her to walk her path with confidence, trusting her instincts and convictions rather than seeking approval. She does not conform to others' expectations, nor does she feel the need to explain her choices. Her life is her own, and she lives it with quiet strength and determination. To those who observe her, she may seem distant or detached, but her reserved nature is not a lack of emotion or connection. Rather, it is a deliberate choice to protect her heart, her time, and her purpose. She knows that sharing too much can invite unnecessary conflict or betrayal, so she chooses to keep her intentions guarded. This does not mean she is unkind or unfeeling. It simply means that she is selective about where she invests her energy and trust. Her unpredictability is not a sign of instability, but of independence, a refusal to let others dictate her life. This unpredictability often sets her apart, making her stand out from those who follow the crowd. She does not move according to popular trends or the expectations of others. Instead, she carves her own path, guided by her purpose and vision. This independence can make others uncomfortable, for they cannot predict or control her choices. Yet it is this very unpredictability that makes her strong, for she is free to pursue her goals without being held back by the opinions or doubts of others. Her reserved nature allows her to move with a quiet confidence that cannot be shaken. Ultimately, a woman who is unpredictable and reserved holds a power that many fail to understand. Her silence and discretion are not weaknesses but strengths, gifts that protect her from harm and allow her to move forward with purpose. She does not seek to be known or understood by all, for she has no need for validation. Instead, she moves in wisdom, trusting her path and her purpose. Those who try to predict her will find themselves unable, for she refuses to be placed into any mold. Her quiet strength and unpredictable spirit make her truly dangerous, for no one can stand in the way of a woman who moves in silence and purpose. Resilience is forged in the fires of adversity, and for a woman who has walked the road of isolation, it becomes her greatest strength. When trials arise and no hand is there to pull her up, she learns to fight her battles alone. This solitude, though heavy at first, becomes the crucible that strengthens her resolve. While others may crumble without the support of a community, she rises because she has learned to rely on God and the inner strength He has placed within her. Isolation, rather than breaking her, has refined her, teaching her the value of endurance and self-reliance. The trials she faces alone demand courage. When others would turn to friends for comfort or advice, she kneels in prayer and seeks divine wisdom. The silence around her, which might feel like abandonment to some, becomes a space where she hears God's voice more clearly. She wrestles with her fears, her doubts, and her weaknesses, but in those battles she discovers strength she never knew she possessed. Isolation teaches her that though human company may fail, the presence of God remains constant, a refuge in every storm. Such a woman learns that trials do not mean defeat but opportunities for growth. Each challenge she overcomes alone becomes another stone in the foundation of her unshakable spirit. When she rises from a difficult season, she is no longer the same woman who entered it. She emerges stronger, wiser, and more resolute. The tears she sheds in secret, the prayers whispered when no one else is listening, build in her an unyielding character. It is in the quiet struggles of isolation that her resilience is born and nurtured. When a woman fights alone, she learns to trust her own instincts and God's leading. Without external voices to cloud her judgment or pull her in different directions, she develops a singular focus. She becomes decisive and clear-minded, knowing that wavering under pressure will only delay her breakthrough. Every decision, every step forward is weighed with careful thought and executed with firm conviction. She learns not to look around for validation or approval, but to look within for courage and upward for guidance. Trials teach her patience as well. When she is alone, victories may come slower, and the weight of the battle may feel heavier, but she knows how to endure. She has walked through dark valleys where hope was dim, yet she pressed forward. Waiting, persevering, and trusting God's timing becomes second nature to her. In this patience her faith is tested and proven genuine. She no longer fights to rush out of hardship, but embraces it as a season with a purpose, a season that strengthens her for what lies ahead. The strength that isolation gives her cannot be easily measured or imitated. It is the quiet strength of a woman who knows she has survived storms that others may never see. She bears no bitterness for the battles fought in solitude because they have built in her a spirit of gratitude and resilience. She knows that if she can endure the pain of isolation and triumph over trials without the encouragement of others, she can face anything. She does not boast of her strength, but carries it with quiet confidence, an unshakable resolve evident to all who cross her path. This resilience becomes her armor against future challenges. While others may falter at the first sign of opposition, she stands firm, for she knows how to withstand pressure. Her past battles have taught her to keep going when circumstances grow difficult. She has faced loneliness, betrayal, and disappointment, yet she has not been overcome. This tenacity is not loud or boastful, it is calm, steady, and immovable. She becomes a pillar of strength that others notice, though they may not fully understand what forged her resolve. Isolation also teaches her self-sufficiency. Not in a way that denies her need for others or community, but in a way that strengthens her ability to survive without them. She learns to make decisions, solve problems, and fight through difficulties with her own hands and her own mind, guided by faith. She understands that her ability to stand alone is not a weakness, but a skill, one that empowers her to thrive in seasons when others might stumble. Such resilience is a gift, one that prepares her to face life's uncertainties with courage. Through trials, her relationship with God deepens. She learns that while human help may be absent, divine help is ever present. In moments when she cries out for strength, she feels His peace. In times when no one understands her pain, He does. This relationship becomes her anchor, keeping her grounded when the storms rage around her. Her isolation becomes less about loneliness and more about communion with the one who sustains her. God becomes her refuge, her strength, and her constant companion in the battles she faces. Ultimately, a woman who has fought her battles alone is not to be underestimated. Her resolve is firm, her spirit unbreakable, and her faith unwavering. The trials she endured in isolation have equipped her to stand tall when others bend and to press forward when others shrink back. She does not fear the storms of life because she has already walked through the fiercest winds and emerged stronger. Resilience is her testimony born in solitude, tested in trials, and revealed in her unyielding ability to overcome whatever comes her way. A woman who is accountable to God alone walks a path that is steadfast and unshakable. While the world may demand her to seek approval from others, she chooses instead to measure her actions against the standards of her Creator. Her decisions are not swayed by opinions, pressures, or fleeting trends because her accountability rests in the one who is unchanging. This gives her a freedom that few possess, a freedom to act in obedience, knowing that God's approval is far greater than any human applause. The fear of God, rather than the fear of man, becomes her compass, guiding her through every season of life. Such a woman seeks her guidance from God in the quiet of prayer. She understands that true wisdom comes not from the counsel of the world, but from kneeling before the throne of grace. When others are quick to follow the noise and advice of those around them, she withdraws to seek the voice of God. She asks, Lord, what would you have me do? This reliance on divine direction shields her from the confusion and uncertainty that comes from pleasing people. With God as her guide, her steps are ordered, purposeful, and clear. Her actions, born from a place of obedience to God, are unshakable because they are rooted in eternal truth. People's opinions may change, praise may turn to criticism, and approval may be fleeting. Yet the woman accountable to God alone is unmoved. She does not waver under the pressure of judgment or gossip, for she knows that the ultimate judge of her heart is the one who created it. Her confidence is not arrogance, but a quiet assurance that she is walking in alignment with God's will. This gives her a boldness that cannot be diminished. This accountability also brings peace to her soul. When she acts in obedience to God, she does not need to justify herself to others. Her motives, her purpose, and her direction are set by God's hand, and that is enough for her. She does not waste time defending herself or seeking validation. The opinions of others may weigh heavily on some, but she rises above them, secure in the knowledge that her life is pleasing to God. It is not that she dismisses others, but that she prioritizes her accountability to the one who matters most. A woman accountable to God alone cannot be easily manipulated or controlled. When people try to sway her with flattery, pressure, or fear, they find her immovable. Her convictions are grounded in God's truth, and she will not compromise them for the sake of pleasing others. This unyielding resolve frustrates those who seek to control her, but inspires those who witness her steadfastness. Her strength comes not from stubbornness, but from her allegiance to God. She answers to Him alone and refuses to bow to anything or anyone that seeks to take His place. Her accountability to God also fosters humility. Though she walks with confidence, she does not exalt herself. She knows that her strength, wisdom, and success come from God's hand alone. She does not act to impress others or to earn their admiration. Instead, she acts out of love for God and a desire to fulfill His purpose for her life. Her humility draws others to her, for they see in her a woman who walks with quiet assurance, not because of her own merit, but because of her trust in the one who leads her. This kind of accountability brings clarity to her priorities. She is not distracted by chasing approval, popularity, or worldly success. Her focus remains fixed on the eternal. She knows that her time, energy, and resources must be spent in ways that honor God. This clarity allows her to say no to things that do not align with her purpose and yes to what truly matters. People may question her decisions or misunderstand her choices, but she is undeterred. Her path is clear because it is directed by God Himself. Being accountable to God alone makes her strong in adversity. When trials arise, she does not crumble under pressure or give in to despair. Instead, she looks upward, seeking strength and guidance from her Father. She knows that she will answer to Him for how she responds to life's challenges, and this knowledge empowers her to persevere with faith and courage. The storms of life do not shake her because she stands on the unchanging foundation of God's promises. Her accountability to Him becomes her anchor, keeping her steady when everything else is shifting. Her relationship with God grows deeper through this accountability. She walks closely with Him, aware of His presence in every decision and action. She seeks to please Him not out of duty but out of love. Her obedience flows from a heart that desires to honor Him in all she does. This intimacy with God gives her a joy and peace that the world cannot provide. She becomes a living testimony to those around her, showing what it means to live a life surrendered to God's authority. Ultimately, a woman who is accountable to God alone is a force to be reckoned with. She cannot be swayed, discouraged, or defeated by human opinions or opposition. Her actions are purposeful, her faith unshakable, and her resolve unwavering because her accountability rests in the eternal, not the temporary. The strength she carries is not her own, but comes from the one who calls her, leads her, and sustains her. Such a woman is dangerous to the forces that seek to distract, deter, or defeat her, for her life is hidden in God, and her path is secure in His hands.